Hello everyone, my name is John Michael Bushman, and the return to Ongoro brought us the quests back. But one quest in particular stood out from all the rest, and it's this one right here, Dive the Golaka Depths. Now, you won't think too much about it. Having +1/+1 for every 5 Murlocs you summon doesn't seem like a lot, and then you realize that it stacks. And that a lot of Murlocs in the game are only, well, less than 3 mana. A few that are worth more, but some of them can reduce their cost. And then that would take this card, seemingly unassuming at first, to meta-warpingly good in Standard right now. This card has taken over Standard, and it is not looking good over there right now. I have been playing Standard in the background. I got sick, that's why this video is out so late. And there may actually be a nerf done to this particular card somewhere down the line. It may or may not be even during the time that I edit this video and upload it. So just watch this video with caution, because the original text of the quest reward, quote-unquote, here, or rather the quest requirement here, is you summon 6 Murlocs rather than 5, because in the Raran's Rumble, a special event that commemorates the release of the Lost City of Ongoro, it was at 6 Murlocs, and it was far more fair there than it is here in its released state. And I can definitely see this deck going down to tier 2 rather than the tier 1.5 that it is at here, at least in Wild right now. But in Standard, it's a completely different story. So here in the Golaka Depths, you just summon Murlocs, and this is an aggro deck, and it has resurfaced an really old archetype from way back when. Again, I only started playing in October 2024. I don't have a lot of history when it comes to this game, but apparently Murloc Paladin was a deck way back when, and I have been meaning to play Paladin for the longest time, but I just wasn't gonna play Libram Paladin over again. I got pretty bored of that deck. And if I was gonna play an aggro deck that isn't Paladin, because, good God, I still hate this fucking class because it gets a lot of toys that other classes don't. So, if I'm going to play this class, I'm going to play it with something that basically spits in the face of the entire archetype. And lo and behold, Murlocs are it. They are not what you think of when you think of the word Paladin. These fishfolk have been fan favorites ever since their Warcraft days because of just how silly little guys they are, and you wouldn't have it any other way. But in this particular instance, this is an aggro deck through and through. You just throw monsters onto the board and hope to the gods that you kill your opponent with it. Now, to go over the card by card is going to be quite a doozy, at least for me, because every choice made in this deck, and I'll even put up on screen here, like here where the tab for the cards are, because I'll just hover over all of the cards here, is a build by a guy named Filterphobe in the Boogerworm Discord, and it was recommended by none other than Shmoopy Daddy himself. Note that these decks are still under a lot of iteration, although Discard Warlock, or more people prefer to call it Disco Warlock, is currently the best deck in the format right now here in Wild, and it's the deck to beat. So everybody is going to tech out to try and beat that deck, and for me, you see Filterphobe's deck here. It has a lot of board wipes. It doesn't have too much healing, sadly, so there are 2 Murlocs in particular that have lifesteal, and they can be cast for cheap, so I'll get to them when I get to them. So, we're finally going to go over the card by card, and we start with Adaptive Amalgam. Now, some builds don't even have this guy. You can actually replace this with more, I guess, impactful Murlocs. But for me, the reason why I'm still keeping him in this deck is for the high roll that you summon him alongside Braingill here, who has been nerfed ever since my last recording, because there was not a lot of good reception for Lost City of Ongoro, and that's sad because from the story that I hear, Ongoro was a very well-loved set, at least during its time, and then our return to it is met with, well, the power that you see, at least in the current state of Hearthstone. But even with Braingill being nerfed to 3, it is still a damn good card. And even with its effect being nerfed, again, it's still a damn good card. So do not build this deck without at least having Brain Gill in it. So there is that. And having Brain Gill alongside Adaptive Amalgam, you will have an eternal source of card draw. So have at least that. Crystology is here because a lot of minions in this deck are at 1 attack, and the really good ones at that are at 1 attack. So especially these two in particular, these two are essential for you to get as you go through your plays. Basically, there are no combos. Just plays. Just throw all of these fish onto the board and hope that you win somehow. Then you have Dead Scale Knight alongside Murlocula. These are the two lifesteal minions in this deck. Although Murlocula can reduce his cost to 0, assuming of course 4 of the minions have already died. And as you can see here, if you have infused, he becomes a 0 mana 3/4, which is an insane amount of rate. And dive into Golakka Depths. I've already gone over this. It's a repeatable quest. You just play the game. It's probably the most unfair quest that they have ever added in this game, and that's me coming from fighting a lot of Demon Seed. This quest reward, quote unquote, is just absurdly unfair. So they need to nerf this somehow. Do the infestor treatment like Zeddy recommended, just +1 attack, make them more vulnerable to removal. So there is that, or just go back to summon 6 Murlocs rather than the 5 that you see here. And then moving right along to Gnawing, where was it? Oh, Gnawing Greenfin. This came out in Into Dermal Dream, and from what I'm seeing, there is at least 1 Murloc per set in this entire game. So they release 1 piece of support for Murloc, and this one, and 1 mana 1/1. It seems unassuming at first, but it does get a random Murloc to your hand, so it will keep the gravy train rolling. There is another minion here for consideration in this deck, assuming the game loads. There we go. Amalgam of the Deep. This is also an honorary Murloc, and it does what Gnawing Greenfin does, but it discovers instead. So definitely you can tinker around with the ratios a little bit here, but some people have eschewed against this guy because 2 mana can be a bit clunky, especially when you're trying to go for game instead. And there's a reason why I have so many fucking 1-drops in this deck. Next, we have Grimscale Oracle here. Other Murlocs +1 attack. People have eschewed War Leader completely because being 3 mana is a bit much, unfortunately, especially for this deck. You basically cap out at 3. This is like your last... well, there is an exception, but we'll get to him in a bit. But having stuff at 1 and 2 is extremely important for this deck because it allows you to get under decks that are just as aggressive as you are, and there are only 2 of them in particular right now, and that would be Discard Warlock and Pirate Demon Hunter. So having stuff have even more attack is definitely going to be very helpful. Next, we have Imprisoned Sungill. I didn't believe in this card at first, but it is 3 bodies for 1 mana, and it is dormant for 2 turns, but those 2 turns come in a lot quicker than you think, especially even in the wild format. It comes in with 3 bodies, and it allows you to complete the quest here, Dive the Golakka Depths, even quicker. Murloc Tidecaller is just an infinitely, quote-unquote, infinitely scaling threat. Your opponent will have to deal with it sooner or later. That's why there are 2 copies in this deck. Murmy is an interesting case because apparently when a Murloc is reborn, it still counts as having been summoned because that is how the reborn mechanic works. So definitely don't leave home without. Now this is definitely the biggest flex slot in the deck, Toxifin. Some people don't have it at all, but I personally like Toxifin in this deck because I can turn any low attack Murloc into a kill spell, basically. This is my response against Libram Paladin because a lot of their minions tend to get very, very big and very easily out of reach of a lot of attack power that my Murlocs could have. That's why I cannot bring myself to remove Toxifin, or Toxfin, as I'm just reading now. There's no I in there, but I guess it's a missed opportunity. You can definitely replace this guy with 1 copy of that 5 mana Murloc that draws 3 other Murlocs, and then of course the classic old Murkai, just as a finisher for this deck. And then we have Vilefin Inquisitor. Definitely never ever leave home without it, especially if you're playing the Murloc quest. It transforms your hero power. Rather than summon a Silver Hand Recruit, you summon a Murloc instead. Definitely try to keep this guy in your mulligan. Otherwise, search for him. And then moving right along to Crab Rider, the one of the main finishers of the deck. He's only 1 attack power now, but eventually it will become a 5/4 or a 5/9 in some cases. It's more than enough to kill your opponent. And then Lushwater Scout is the hidden boss monster of this deck. Basically, the +1 attack doesn't seem like much at first, but having your Murlocs gain Rush is insane, which will turn your Toxfin infused minions here into basically instant kill spells. This is a kill on sight type of minion, so there is that. Rock Skipper is a Murloc that isn't really in a lot of decks, but I love the reach that the rock gives. So it can also act as removal, to pick off minions that are hiding behind a lot of taunts. Or you can use this to weaken a taunt minion that is in the way so that your Murlocs will have an easier time getting through their defenses. Then Violet Treasure Guild is a card that came out of Lost City of Un'Goro. Again, I don't know why Murlocs tend to be aligned with Paladins, but, there we go. The only target that you have in this deck is the Crystology, although some other builds have Prismatic Beam that can be tutored by Ursine Maul, as you can see in the Filterphobe build. Otherwise, you can also have Showdown for this build, as you see in the Filterphobe build. But otherwise, yeah, you have only one spell that can be tutored by this guy, because if you have any more, then it's going to be very clunky for your deck. Of course, Brain Gill, it makes your other Murlocs into loot hoarders. Nothing more I can say about that. Hot Spring Glider was nerfed. This used to discount your next Murloc by 2, not by 1. It would actually be better if you could just remove the Divine Shield, because why would you have a Murloc gain Divine Shield? But here we are. Prince Renathal is the way to make this a 40-card deck. I did try a 30-card build of this, but I just couldn't fit everything else, because a lot of this stuff is unfortunately necessary in order to survive in the meta that we're in right now here in Wild. So having a Renathal build definitely works. Crusader Aura, of course, the main finisher of the deck alongside everything else. If your Golakka Defs is already like at +3/+3, quote-unquote, this is going to be a lot of damage very, very quickly. Of course, I already explained what Molecula does. It goes alongside Dead Scale Knight as your way to recover HP. And of course, the only 4-cost Murloc here in this deck, Steam Fin Thief. This is 3 bodies in 1, and they gain Rush. So it can also act as a removal and can even finish off your opponent. So yeah, that is the Murloc Paladin deck here in Wild. It has gotten pretty decent numbers in spite of Discard Warlock being what it is. So, oh boy, you're just gonna see why this meme of a deck is not to be trifled with. Let's get on with some games.
A pony versus Celeste.
Up against Mage, and there's only really 2 viable Mage decks right now, and it's either Imbue Mage or Hostage Mage. Hostage Mage has actually risen in popularity lately. No thanks to decks like this being more prominent. So stalling as long as possible until you find a win con is definitely the way to go in this format right now. Or Imbue Mage, which is a deck that has fallen very, very far off because they're just far more efficient decks right now that are roaming about, but there are still people who believe in it, and it does eat Big Shaman alive. So I did run Big Shaman in the previous season, and it worked really well, and my worst nightmare is most definitely Imbue Mage, because the Holotechnician can very easily kill me. And yeah, this is why. Oh my god, this deck is insane. Oh my god, this deck is insane. Okay, Ancient Mysteries. I'm assuming getting either Ice Block or Counterspell. But so what minion do I not want to live? Just in case this is what I think it is. So let's bait it out. Let's see if it is. And lo and behold, it was Objection. Alright, cool. So we get Violet Treasure Guild out, because that was the one I really wanted to resolve. And thank you, opponent, for that. So we get those 2 out of the way. And okay, so we have 4 minions to set down next turn. And if they do live, we have Brain Guild to recoup all of our losses. Oh boy. This deck is so fucking relentless. I love it. So we get Mermy down, we get annoying Greenfin down. Let's see what it searches off first. See if we can do anything else about it. Okay, this is not gonna do anything, unfortunately. So we get another annoying Greenfin down, and let's see what gets us. Ooh, a hot spring glider. Hell yeah. As much as I want to kill this, I think he's going to want to kill the rest of my board first. So I'm going to save it for later. There's probably a misplay. I should have probably played the Murloc Tidecaller, but we're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna leave that mistake in. There we go. Opponent, I'm just noticing his name is Arknights. Somebody's been playing a bunch of gacha games. So let's see what my opponent does. Robocaller is not something you normally see in mage decks. So this is either Reno, because I usually see this in Reno builds of Mage, and because it gives them access to Portal Mancer Skyla here. Okay, they have a taunt minion that's not going to last very long, because that's what Toxifin is for. There we go. I'm gonna give it to the Reborn minion, so because it's gonna come back anyway. So gain only 1. And now we're going to get Hot Spring Glider, so that we reduce this. I probably should have played Tidecaller first. There we go. And now that gains that. And I guess we just swing into this just because we can. And there we go. Now we have a decent presence on board. And if my opponent doesn't kill this, I'll play Brain Gill next turn. And make my opponent think twice about wiping my board. Okay, cool. Random enemy minion, sure, they kill 2, sure, that is still fine. We have 6 mana to work with, so I guess we only really play the Lushwater Scout and then the Brain Gill. Yeah, making this guy 3 mana definitely throws a lot of math out of the window. So, although they did give him an increase in stats, so now he is more threatening as a 6/4. A 3 mana 3/2 that turns all your other stuff into loot hoarders is still goddamn insane. So, your move, opponent. What are you gonna do here? Okay, at least the Navigator. Sure, I'm not quite sure what you're gonna do with that. I'm assuming you're gonna get the location that gets you armor, but I don't think you're gonna get there yet. Because you're not at the mana. So, let's see. Okay, 3 mana. What you got? Freeze! Alright, cool. The freezing has begun. Oh boy. This is where the game becomes a drag. We can go for the other guys first. We do have 7 mana. We have a lot to work with here. So, we get into this. And, ooh. Oh, we can do that. So we do this. There we go. And then Mermy comes back. Then we do it again. There we go. And then we get Rock Skipper. There we go. And then we get a Rock. And then we get the Crab Rider. There we go. And let's see if my opponent doesn't deal with this. We'll find out soon enough. We have nearly lethal on board, I believe. I'm not doing the math, but this is a lot of numbers. So, okay, sure. So he'll summon 3 4/1 Raptors. I use this exact tactic in Standard a lot. Okay, cool. Just making me recoup my losses. That is fine by me. I'll take that any day of the week. And wow, not even killing Mermy, really. Okay, sure. What else you got, opponents? Wow, really? You want to do that? Okay, cool. That is fine by me. That is very, very fine by me. So we do that. We get Toxifin down? Or the Vilefin Inquisitor? I guess we get the Inquisitor down. There we go. And then we'll get Brain Gill down last. So we'll get Toxifin here into the... We're not going to give it to the Wind Fury minion because that's just going to paint a very large target on their back. There we go. So we'll swing for 8 with this guy, 2 for this guy, then here. Now this guy has 2 instances of MRGLGLBLGLGL. That's what it's called. Oh my god, I love this game. So I love little moments like that in this game. Or I can actually just toss the rock at him and just draw to my 2 cards like right away. But opponent, again, if you don't have a way to deal with this, you are just dead. So we're gonna see if my opponent even deals with it. Again, I am not seeing a lot of traditional cards that I would normally see in a okay, devolving missiles definitely deals with this, but I'm not sure if it'll even be enough. Okay, cool. I'm freezing my board. That is fine. I won't be able to do anything about it anyway, so I would have preferred that I got that early on. But I'm gonna toss a rock at this and draw my 2 cards. There we go. Grimscale Oracle is nice, so we'll play that. There we go. And make my Murlocs even bigger. And if I have the chance to just get rid of these extra bodies that I have on board, then that will be very, very fine in my book. Okay, cool. I'm assuming he's going to send that to my Murlocs rather than me, because my Murlocs are far more threatening. I love this deck so much. It's the type of jank, type of playable jank that I love using here on Hearthstone. And it's Murlocs. I mean, how could you hate Murlocs? I was originally contemplating using this with Shaman, but they got with Paladin first, so of course I'm gonna use it here on Paladin instead. And okay, this proves that they are a Reno deck because they have this guy right here. So definitely a smoking gun right there. Deal 3 damage to all minions. I think I'm gonna hold off on that. So what do we do here? I guess we just summon bodies. There we go. There we go. There we go. And then there we go. We can keep going, actually. So we do this, then we do this. I just hope that by the time it comes back around, we will have enough room for the minions that the Sungill summons. So, yeah, opponent, your move. I mean, you're mage. You probably have a lot of removal against this Murloc Tide. So, and okay, cool. Ziliax is risky because, good God, you're gonna damage yourself more than you're gonna hurt me here. So, and my opponent has actually not been able to hurt me this entire game because all he's been doing is focusing on getting my board down. So, okay, freezing the minion that has lifesteal, so that's definitely fine. Swinging in for 4, sure. And again, opponent is playing the really risky game here of just having his own Ziliax reduce his life total. So that is a way to deal with my opponent. Thank you, deck. So we reduce this guy here. So we have room. There we go. Then Rock Skipper as a way to deal with this. There we go. Then swing in. And then play Murlocula. There we go. I'm not gonna summon anymore because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're gonna come out next turn, and if my opponent doesn't kill these, then it's going to be problematic as well. So we're gonna find out soon enough what my opponent does. I mean, they have the Mixologist. They could use the. Okay, he's gonna freeze my whole board yet again. Sure. Okay, Ancient Mysteries, draw a secret. I'm assuming it's either Objection or Counterspell. But, oh, wow, really? There are only 2 spells? Really? Dawn Grasp? Okay, cool. I'm assuming... Okay, go to face. Oh, that's interesting. You're not gonna thin my board? Sure, opponent? Sure? Sure. Yep, I'll go to face. And then +2 damage. There we go. Alright, cool. Alright, cool. Just ignoring me. That is fine. Although, that is actually a really good call because if I don't do anything else, my opponent is just gonna take it. So, yeah. I mean, opponent just ignores me, just goes for my face, and I die. Wow. Okay, then. Good choices there, opponent. If I die, I die. If I win, I win. So, there is that. So I'll just see you guys either at the end of this game, which will be very, very soon. Yeah, I mean, he just swings at my face, and yeah, kudos to my opponent. See you in the next game, guys.
A pony versus Lunara.
That is the prettiest art of Lunara I've seen yet. Although the one where she's a mermaid is still like #1 for me. So there is that. We have to mulligan all of this away, unfortunately. Or we leave Tidecaller. Yeah, we're gonna leave Tidecaller. And that's always a really good keep because it scales as the game goes along. I mulligan you away, Toxifin. How dare you? Alright. This is a goddamn pretty brain dead deck. Oh my god. That's why I love it so much. You just throw stuff on the board and hope that your opponent dies eventually. A Gen deck in Druid? Is this Reno? Question mark? I guess we greet my opponent back because they were so gracious to us. And a name like Haromi does not inspire a lot of confidence. Oh, that's a threat. Alright then, opponent. Let's see you kill me. Copycat. Oh, it's Hero Power Druid. Alright. I see your game, opponent. I see your game. And oh, excuse me. I raise you this. So let's draw our 2 Murlocs. Which, that allows us to draw another Murloc. What we can do next turn is play Gnawing Greenfin, see what that yields, and if it's not anything that we can play at that moment, we'll go into Adaptive Amalgam, into Toxfin, and we'll put the Poisonous onto the Amalgam, so that it will permanently have Poisonous. So there's that. And let's see what else my opponent does here. Hero Power Druid, they just ignore what's on the board and just go face, but they will eventually have to deal with the onslaught that I am presenting here. So we're gonna see what path my opponent picks here. They can just go into the Hero Power. Yep, swing for 2, but at who? Okay then, they're going for that. I mean, that's also a good call because that guy will scale out of control over time. Why? Just so that you can use your Hero Power again? Okay, sure. That's actually really nice. So we play that, then we play the Valve Inquisitor, then we play the Amalgam, then we'll give the Amalgam permanent Poisonous. And no, we're not going to attack into the Copycat because the Death Rattle also gives him plus attack on his Hero Power. There we go. And yep, that's the right call. Getting him out of the way, and it does shuffle my deck, so hopefully my draws will get better. And that's also why I can't find it in my heart to remove the Adaptive Amalgam. It shuffles the deck, so hopefully your draws will become slightly more consistent with that action, because there isn't actually a lot of shuffling that happens in Hearthstone, surprisingly. Even when you quote-unquote search in Hearthstone, it draws the card that you're supposedly looking for. And because there's a lot of randomness in this game anyway, that is not far from the truth. So we're gonna see. Ooh, that is nice. We're gonna see what we get out of the random stuff first. Grunty, hello. So we're gonna get Crab Rider down. Then we're gonna get Dead Scale Knight down. And then we are going to cry. We definitely have to get rid of the Garrison Commander here. There we go. There we go. And then, do we put down Murlocula? I guess we should, because we need to gain back a lot of life lost here. I guess we just make my opponent's trades a lot less viable. So we have potential 6 HP of healing. It's going to be a while before we get the Grunty here, which is a 4-star card, by the way. So let's see. We're gonna pet the dinosaur here. We're gonna spin the globe in 2 different directions, and then we're gonna play with the telescope here. Let's try that again. There we go. I'm gonna break that glass. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does, but we're just gonna do that, and then we're gonna do that again. And there are also a bunch of clickables here. So there's that Rake. Okay, cool. Get rid of Murlocula. We're gonna reveal a secret behind that portrait. There we go. Then we're gonna do. Come on, attack me. You know you want to. Come on, make me gain life. Make me gain life, opponent. Come on, I know you want to. Don't be shy. Boo. Okay, doing that there instead. That is fascinating. Could have gone for my face, but okay then. Let's see what the draw of the top yields. What do you know? Card draw. There we go. Crystology. Reload my hand, please. Thank you very much. Alright, cool. Ooh, Rock Skipper. That is nice. That will allow me to deal with this guy without endangering the lives of my other fishfolk. There we go. And there we go. Alright, opponent. Your move. So this is just a slow climb all the way up to 8 mana where we can play Grunty and hopefully kill my opponent with it. I'm still actually not sure how the damage calculates with Grunty here, but I guess it's just based on the attack power of the minions that he shoots off, so hurrah. I don't think the... Okay, Reforestation, draw a spell and a minion, sure. That is fine. Adaptive Amalgam yet again. That is fine. I think we just ignore my opponent's board. We just swing face. There we go. Then this, and does this have... this isn't the one that has poisonous, so we just play this, and you know what? We'll just put it down as well. It advances our game state, so that is fine. And there you go, opponent. Deal with my board. Adaptive Amalgam always comes back, so let's see what my opponent does about it. If at all. Okay, Trail Mix. They're preparing for a big turn next turn, so I am already horrified. Okay, sure. Okay, doing that. I'm assuming. Okay, making me gain 3. So I effectively get healed 3 from that. That is fine. Crusader Aura. Well, opponent, you've never made more dead.
For the Knights of the Silver Hand.
Let's see if the math is right. There we go. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Alright, the math was right.
A pony versus Uther.
Up against a fellow Paladin here. And I almost forgot to turn on the microphone. Definitely mulligan these two away. We're looking for something lower on the curve. And let's see what we get off the top. Steam. I mulliganed you away! Come on! Give me a 1-drop at least, game. Come on! Oh my god. Well, we got a 1-drop. So, that's for next turn. And we're gonna greet my opponent. And let's see what they got. We're gonna twist the wheel here. Nicely done. Why? Am I dead? Am I dead already? Oh, okay, this is Holy Wrath Paladin, the second best deck in the format right now. One of the few decks that can very easily contest discard Warlock. So, definitely something to watch out for. I mean, I may be very well dead come turn 4. So there is that. And one thing about the lookout, it still baffles me that that ability is active even if it's in your hand. I think it shouldn't be active when it's in your hand. It should only be active when you're on the field. So, I mean, I'm just gonna, you know, throw stuff on the ground, and I'm not even gonna bother trying to kill my opponent here because I'm probably dead within a few turns because this is Holy Wrath Paladin. Yep, yeah. This is definitely Holy Wrath Paladin. I'll be dead anyway, so I'm not even gonna try too hard here. I'm just gonna see if he even has it. So we're gonna find out soon enough here. And I haven't gotten the spider to come out of this in a long while, so we're just gonna see. I would play that, but Steam Fin Thief takes priority, sadly. So go 1 and a 2 and a 3. Again, I'm not even gonna try because my opponent has me dead to rights. I'm just gonna make you have it, opponent. Okay, yep. The cowboy. That's your... Oh, you already have it in hand. Okay, then. So we do this. Violet Treasure Gill. We draw 2. What do we get? Mermy. And a Lush Water Scout. Alright, cool. I guess we just swing at my opponent's face. I don't think this matters. So, we're just gonna give the Adaptive Amalgam Rush. And then we're gonna swing in. Then that guy dies. And then this goes into the deck. And do you have it, opponent? Do you have the Holy Wrath? Do you has it? If not, you're gonna have to keep digging. And as long as you keep digging, I'm gonna keep swinging these Murlocs right at your face. If my opponent doesn't have it, then they're probably dead within a few turns? Question mark? Question mark? I guess I should start trying if they're digging this hard because choose a card from yeah. I mean, this is literally just Polkelt. This is just a common version of Polkelt. Oh my god. So we get Mermy. Then we play a Braingill. We're gonna draw our cards, goddammit. So we do this. There we go. We draw our one card. Ooh, another Amalgam. Hello. So we'll play that next turn. So we just swing in. There we go. This isn't the one. Oh wait, no, this is the one that has Rush. Alright, cool. I guess we just play it now. So that it also gets bigger from the quest. And it gets a +1 again from the Lushwater Scout. And again, if my opponent still doesn't have it, I am going to kill him. But if he does have it, okay, he's still gonna search for it because Sunsapper Lionessa is part of this deck somehow. I guess. Okay, cool. He is stalling. He still has not found it, which is fascinating. People would usually be dead by this point. Good God, opponent, are you not lucky? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, cool. I guess we'll just play Braingill and make all of our other stuff draw, and we just pass back. If you don't have it, opponent, you're dead. You're literally facing lethal on board. Okay, Prismatic Beam clears some of my board, but it does draw me like 5 cards.
If power is what you seek,
Probably even more. Okay, cool. Finally. There we go. Took you a while, opponent. Oh my god, I still fucking hate this class. Let's move on to the next game.
a pony versus Uther.
Another Paladin immediately after the other one. Great. So let's see. Oh, we're going second even. So definitely play the Grimscale Oracle next, like immediately. Or what we can do is wait until turn 2. Play the Hot Spring Glider. Oh wait, no, we can't do that anymore because it only reduces by 1. So yeah, definitely Grimscale Oracle first, and then we just play the rest on curve. So there's that. Okay, we'll beat my opponent because that's just a nice thing to do, even if I fucking hate this class. Okay then, this is probably Reno Paladin, question mark? Let's test the waters. If that's what I think it is. Indeed it is! Oh my yog. Alright, cool. Now we play this, and let's see what happens. Okay, Undying Allies. Okay, sure, that is fine. Do that every time you're going to go second against Reno Paladin. Just put the coin out, because they're literally going to go oh my yog, like on turn 1. So we play this guy, then we're going to play on curve by playing Hot Spring Glider next turn, and play the Grimscale Oracle for 0. That's also going to save us the 1 mana so that we can kill the Trapdoor Spider here. And it also, we go into Molecula. That's very nice. So that dies, that also dies. Then we play Grimscale Oracle here, advancing our board state, and more headaches for my opponent. But it's Reno, so Reno Paladin tends to have a lot of answers, and all Reno decks in general. So there's a surprise amount of Reno that I've been encountering on the ladder here. We're gonna get Steam Fin Thief here first because that is what is needed, and we're gonna kill that one so that we have more infuse. And we're gonna play this guy next turn into this guy so that we have even more bodies. Don't know why you would waste your time on that, but I guess it's for the Ursine Maul. Okay, cool. I'm wiping my board down, making Murlocs live. Dead Scale Knight, cool. I guess this guy and then this guy. There we go. Hopefully this will be enough to bring a headache to my opponent, but again, it's Reno Paladin. They probably have, definitely have ways to deal with the bullshit that I have. There we go. Very cool. And Wind Fury will make him even gain health, so thanks, I guess. Another Lushwater Scout. Alright, cool. I'm not gonna play that guy just yet, because that is just a recipe for disaster. I'm just gonna play a Scout here, and hope and pray that that gets me somewhere. And, oh god, I missed it. Amethyst, hello! I did not expect to see you. Alright, cool. Minions only deal 2 damage. Yeah, your minions can take more than 2. Sure, that is fine. There we go. So this is exactly 2. And do we play another Lush Water Scout? Probably no. I guess we just play a Murlocs, give him Rush, so that we'll gain a bit more health from that. Question mark? Ooh, actually, we can go down that route. So we play another Lush Water Scout. Since Amitos only takes 2 damage at a time, we can actually just kill her here. Huh. Fascinating. Cool. Well, I mean, granted, my opponent will still probably find a way to kill me. Yeah, like this. Yeah, my opponent will always find a way to kill all of the shit that I do and place on the board. So I am not confident about my odds, but I will still give this game a fighting chance. But I have no cards in hand, and I only have a Vilefin Inquisitor and a Dream to my name. So my opponent pretty much has this, but it's going to take a long ass while. So I'll just see you guys at the end screen. Okay, we're here at the end screen, and it performed about as well as I expected it to. This card is just insane. These 2 cards in tandem with each other, this either drawing you cards or getting you stuff like Showdown, which has been unnerfed from its previous state, is an insane advantage engine that can only be matched by a handful of other classes, like on one hand at that. So this deck, you can still bring it to the ranked ladder here in Wild. You just need to move the ratios around a bit, add more non-Murlocs, although I wanted to keep it as many Murlocs in as possible compared to the build that was recommended to me, because I just want to have all of my top decks be a Murloc so that I can keep triggering the quest and making my minions a lot bigger. Although I can see the reason why you would want even more card draw in this deck. Definitely the 5-mana Murloc that draws 3 Murlocs. Otherwise, yeah, you can definitely still change a few of the ratios around here, but some of them are non-negotiable, like Vilefin Inquisitor or Lush Water Scout, or even the Crusader Aura. Steamfin Thief is also unnegotiable because it's 3 bodies in 1, similar to the Imprisoned Sungill, because if you get this guy on turn 1, whether you're going first or second, this guy has insane amounts of advantage to completing your quest. And yeah, everything else is just aggressive, low on the curve Murlocs, and eventually you will kill your opponent. But if your opponent does get ahead of you and removes enough of your bodies, and this deck doesn't have a lot of recursion anyway, so yeah, definitely a weakness there. But otherwise, it's a really fun deck that finally makes me play Paladin without feeling too bad about it. Because I'm playing basically the silly little guys of the Warcraft world. So if you guys like what you saw, hit like, comment, subscribe, and share this among your friends. And until next time, toodles.